All right, welcome. This is the homework solution. This is week 26. I am two homework solutions. Here we have Tuesday, January 28th. Okay, and I have it on paint so I could work with it. All right, so let's do the first one. Here, 1 through 7. Okay, just ask us to find the product. Please understand there's not 8 because 7 is a very long problem. All right, so finding the product. What is the product is referring to? This word product. Okay, the product is referred to the multiplication. So I want you to understand that there's actually a multiplication that is occurring here. Okay, so let's review basic foiling. Okay, so if you have something that looks like this, so a times d parentheses c plus b. Okay, or you could do b plus c here, right? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do the FOIL. So that is your first term, right? This is your A, B. Okay, that's when you multiply. So this is considered your F because that is your first. Then you're going to, let's do green here. Then you're going to do your um, O, which is your out. So A times C. So you're going to add A times C, which is going to be your out. Let's do blue. I'm going to go under this time. D times B. So that is going to be D times B, which is your I, which is your inner. Then purple, D times C, which is your last. Okay, D times C, which is your last. Please, I want you to notice this is just the distributive property happening once to the first term. And this is the second distributive property occurring to the second term, which is the letter D. Okay, so you're going to see this take place. Hopefully, I could keep to this color scheme. So, first, so that is x times x. So I'm just going to write it out. Okay, x times x. We have green. Then that's your f. First, now you're going to do your out. X times 4. Then you're going to do your blue. Okay, that's your I, right? So you see how here we finish our first distributive property. Now we're going to distribute with the 2. So that is your 2 times x. Then the last one, it's going to be the 2 times the last term plus 2 times 4. All right? So x times x becomes x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 2 times x is 2x. And purple, which is going to be 2 times 4, becomes 8. Here we can simplify. I would like you to notice that these two are like terms. This has a x to the power 1. And here you have x to the power 1. So these two can combine. So your answer would be x squared plus 4x plus 2x becomes 6x plus 8. Please note, here's the work. 4x plus 2x is equal to 6x. Okay, notice you are adding exponents here. Okay, all right, please be careful. This occurred last week. Okay, just little reminder. Good, you cannot combine this any further because you are done here. All right, so hopefully I can keep track of um, this color scheme. You know what? I'm just going to bring it along in all of the problems. Okay. All right, so let's do the first one. Okay. Here again, we're going to find the product. So we're going to distribute the first term. All right, so first, so that's going to be your x times x. Then you're going to have your add. Your x is going to be distributed to the second term, which is your out. So that's your x times 5. Oops, that should be good. So here you're done with distributing the first term. Now you're going to distribute the second term. Negative 3, please understand it's negative 3, right? Because there's that negative here. So it's negative 3 times x. Please see that it's negative 3 times x. Okay? So that's distributing the second term first. And we do it one more time. The second term is going to be distributed to the last term, which is the L, which is last. So that is your negative 3 times 5. Here, let's bring that all together. X times x becomes x squared. Then you have your x times 5, which is 5x. Then you have your blue. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Then you have your negative 3 times 5, which is your negative 15. Here we can simplify. Please make note that these two are like terms. They can be combined. Okay, so you have x squared plus 2x minus 15. The 2x comes from the 5x. Minus 3x is equal to 2x. That's how I got this answer. Everything else comes straight down. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to follow this method again. Again here, please understand that you are multiplying. Okay, you're finding the product of this expression versus this expression. So again, you are going to FOIL. So the first term, x times x, add the O, which is your out term. So that is the out term. X times negative 6. Your inner, negative 4 times y. Negative 4 times x. Sorry, it's x. I said y. And lastly, the negative 4 is going to be distributed to the negative 6. Okay. X times x is x squared. X times negative 6 is going to be negative 6x. You see, if you write this out, you catch where the negatives are. Plus negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Plus negative 4 times negative 6. Again, this is positive. Okay, it's a positive 24. Okay. We can combine these two because they're like terms. So you have x squared plus what's negative 6 plus negative 4. It's the same thing as writing this. Okay, this becomes negative 10, but there's an x here, so there's an x here, so there's an x here. Plug this in your calculator, you're going to see it's the same thing. Okay, so this becomes a what? Negative 10x plus, this is a positive 24 anyways, so positive 24. There's another way of writing this. This becomes x squared plus a negative is the same thing as subtract that number. Okay, so this is how it looks like at the end. X squared minus 10x plus 24. Okay. You're going to start noticing that these two middle terms will always combine when it's in this format because there's x's in both parentheses. Alright. So again, you're trying to find the product. So here's the product symbol. First term is going to be distribute. So that is your negative x times x. Second term, which is your out. Negative x times negative 4. Negative times negative 4. Your inner, negative 1 times x. Negative 1 times x. Purple, which is your outer, plus negative 1 times negative 4. Alright, negative x times x becomes negative x squared plus negative x times negative 4, which comes a positive 4x. Okay, you see why it's very important to keep the parentheses? So much neater to look at. Plus, what's negative 1 times x? Negative 1x. Okay, plus negative 1 times negative 4 becomes a positive 4. Okay, these two are like terms. So, you get negative x, right, squared, comes from the top. You get plus 3x because 4x plus negative 1x gets you 3x. It's the same thing as writing 4 minus 1 gets you 3, but there's an x here, there's an x here, so there's an x here. Okay, that's how I get 3x. Plus 4. A lot of you are going to get mistakes because you don't write this step down. Okay, and you're not very careful with your parentheses. The parentheses are here so you could keep track of your negatives. Okay? Alright. Oh, is that it? 4. Yep. Okay. Let's go to 5, which is down here. Alright. Ooh. Ooh, this is going to be a long problem. This is going to be a long problem. Give me a second. I got to scoot this out. It is going to be a very long problem. So, I'm going to keep that right here. Alright. Here, you can't really FOIL, right? So this is useless, but the idea is still there, okay? So we're going to do our best to go with it, right? So you're going to be distributing. So let me show you first, okay? So you see how you have this? This is the first term. So this is going to be multiplied to the first term. Then this is going to be multiplied to the second term. Then this is going to be multiplied to the third term. Okay? Then you're going to repeat the process, but now with the second term. So this is going to be multiplied here. This is going to be multiplied here. This is then going to be multiplied here. You can't really FOIL because FOIL is only when you have two of them. Okay? But this idea is still the same. Right? So the first one. All right? You have x. So let me just draw it out for you. Let's do the first one. Okay, x times the first term here, x squared. So you have x times x squared. Again, you always add. Okay. Let's see if I can make this different colors. Can I? Okay. Then you have x times the second term. So x times 4x. Then let's see if we can make that orange. So x is going to then multiply the third term. Add x times 1. Now let's go under. So 2 times x squared. Let's see, after blue, can I go? We're running out of colors. Can I do that? Can you see this? Yeah, you can. A weird color. Plus 2 times 4x. Oh, you know what? Let's just do the weak. Oh, pink. Pink's a good one. 2 times 1 is in the end. Plus 2 times 1. Yeah, all fits. Sweet. Okay. So do you see how it's being, the x is distributed 3 times, then the 2 is distributed another 3 times. So 3, 3. Okay. So x times x squared becomes x cubed. Okay. Then plus x times 4x becomes x 4 to the second power, plus 1 times x is just x, 2 times x squared is just 2x squared, plus 2 times 4x is just 8x, plus 2 times 1 is just 2. Okay. Let's see, are there any like terms we can combine? Let's see. X cubed? Nope, there's no other x cubed. Yep. But there is this. The 4x squared and the 2x. That does combine. So let me just rewrite x to the third. Then I'm going to add, okay, 4x squared plus 2x squared becomes 6x squared, right? This was in the circle, right? And then I have an x here and an x here, so I'm going to make this a square. You see? Oop, I'm going to make this a square. Make this a square. Now you're going to add the square. So the x plus 8x becomes 9x. Okay, nothing happened here to the pink, which is just plus 2. Alright, so the final answer here would be x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. Whoop. 9x plus 2. There you go. That's your final answer. Okay, so again, notice I'm just distributing the first term, then distributing the second term. It's just a long process. And here, it was bigger, so I had to combine more like terms. Okay, just be very careful. The Foley method, useless now. Okay. All right, let's do this one. Okay, let's just bring it over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring it in view so we can work on it. All right. Okay, let's do this one. I don't know if I don't know if I could follow the same colors. All right. So x is going to be distributed to the first term. So this becomes x times x squared. Then you have x times the second term. So plus x times 4x. Then you have x times the third term. X times 1. Then you are done here. Okay. Then you want to do it again to the second term. So that is negative. That is negative 3 times x squared. It's purple that. Negative 3 times 4x. So plus negative 3 times x. Then let's use that color now. Plus negative 3 plus 1, times 1. So negative 3 times 1. Then lastly, there's this weird plus 5 at the end. So there's a plus 5 at the end. Okay. So let's start combining some like term. Let's simplify each of the parentheses. Alright? Okay. So x times x squared becomes x cubed. Okay. Plus 4 times 4x becomes 4x squared. X times 1 just becomes x. Alright, then you will have plus negative 3 times x cubed. I think that is a negative 3x squared. Okay, notice I keep the parentheses so I could keep track of the negatives. Plus negative 3 times x becomes negative 3x. Okay, negative 3 times negative 1, so plus negative 3. And this is add 5. Alright, so we can combine certain things, I believe. Yep. So there's an x squared term here. Oh, I think I made that circle. So, okay, this is your x squared term plus this. Okay, so let me rewrite the red. Nothing happened to the x cubed. Alright, but I know that what is 4x squared minus 3x squared? That becomes 1x squared. Okay, this came from the circle. This came from the circle. Okay. Then anything else? Yep. So, oh, what about this? I have a plus x plus negative 3x. Okay, so I'm going to add. What goes into the square box here? Okay. Plus x minus 3x becomes negative 2x. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yeah. I have a negative 3 and a plus 5. That becomes a plus 2, right? Negative 3 plus 5 in your calculator should get you 2. Okay, so you have x cubed plus 1x squared is just x squared minus 2x plus 3. Notice, if you follow each of the step, you should be getting it correct because you stayed organized. The only way students get this wrong is because they're just very unorganized when they multiply. Okay, but I know you're smarter than that. All right, the big one here. Whew. Okay, I'm going to treat this as two different problems. Okay, I'm going to treat it as this problem, okay, and this problem. Then I'm just going to add them at the end, okay? Makes my life easier. All right. Okay. All right. So let's do the first one. Okay. So here I'm just gonna FOIL. All right. So sorry. Let's just paint x times x. So that is what? So that is x times x. Then you have x times negative 6. So add x times negative 6. Add the inner negative 4 times x. Let's green this. The last one, negative 4 times negative 6. So negative 4 times negative 6. Right? So x times x becomes x squared. Negative 6 times x is just negative 6x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 6 is positive 24. Okay? These two are like terms. So I have x squared, negative 6x plus negative 4x becomes negative 10x plus 24. Okay? Same process as here. X times x. So you have your x times your x. That's your first. Then you're out. That is x plus, nope, x times 2. Your inner, negative 1 times x. So negative 1 times x. Then you have your last negative 1 times negative 2. Negative 1 times 2, I'm sorry. Good. X times x becomes x squared. X times 2 is just 2x. Negative 1 times x is just negative x, or negative 1x. You could just write that, negative 1x. Oops. Negative 1x. Okay. You see, each time it's a negative, I just keep it in parentheses, just for organization. Okay. Plus negative 1 times negative 2 is negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Okay. You should see these two are like terms. So, right, you have x squared, nothing happened to it. 2x plus negative 1x just becomes 1x. Why? Because look, 2x plus 1. Because look, 2 plus negative 1 is equal to 1. Put in x here, put in x here. So this should have an x. Okay, that's how I get 1x. Minus 2. Okay? But notice I'm going to add these two together. Alright? Okay? Notice I'm going to add these two together. Okay? Alright? So I'm going to add these two together. Alright? So you can rearrange it. X squared plus x squared. So I have x squared plus x squared. Right? Then I have a minus 10x here, which is the first term here. Then I have a plus 1x on this side. I have a plus 24 on my left side, and I have a minus 2 on my right hand side. X squared plus x squared, and that becomes 2x squared. Negative 10x plus 1x becomes negative 9x. 24 minus 2 gets you 22. Again, this is the answer here. All right, this is a long process. It's not complicated. It's just very long, very tedious. Just two problems basically in one. You're never going to get something like this on the state test or my quiz or the test in general, but I want you to understand that you just are just doing the same thing and you just have to stay organized. You just have to stay organized. There's so many ways here for you to get it wrong. Once you get something wrong, the answer could change dramatically, okay? So please be very careful when you solve the problem, okay? So let me just bring everything around so we can see it, okay? And let me go over the answers if you still need it. All right. So here's your number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, six, and lastly, the nightmare of a problem, seven. Okay, there you go. Those are all your solutions for Tuesday, January 1st, the 28th, for your week 26 homework.